no, 28 verse 8. Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins, for a furious man will kindle strife. A sinful man disquitteth friends, and maketh debate among them that be at peace. See, a sinful man disquitteth friends, and maketh debate among them that be at peace. That's what sinful men do, man. They make you debate, and they make you think, oh, I'm gonna choose that side. Oh, I'm gonna choose this camp. I'm gonna choose that camp. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, they're not learning about Yahweh Shai. It's just a waste of time.
Shalom. All praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Baharakah Kwadash. Much love and citations to the Lord's bride, the election, those that are loyal unto the Lamb, married, faithful, and chosen. And like, that was a heavy verse, because a sinful man disquieteth friends. That's a sinful man. So men who are laden with sins and they're bound by their sins, one aspect of their fruits, of the carnal fruits of the flesh and of their carnal mind, is going to be about debate, strife, endless genealogies. Like, it's not going to be a comforting spirit. It's always going to be a confrontationing, like a disobedient child, a child that doesn't listen to his parents. And that's the vast majority of our people in these last days. This world is coming to an end. It's coming to a close. Your money, your wealth, what you have here in this world, your social media fame and following, it's not going to save you. Even in the aspects of just knowing the true name of the Father and the Son, that is very important. But when you even get into the depths of this truth, it's not just about knowing the Lord's name, but it's also about knowing his heart, knowing his mind, knowing his will. And what he requires of you is to walk humbly before thy God. So let me start off with this scripture. Romans 1 and verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled. Now check out what they're filled with. And this is what's going to come out of their heart, because what's in a man, that's what comes out of the mouth. So it says, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder. They have hate for their brother, hate for their neighbor. Debate, that's a key thing. Debate, always going back and forth, back and forth. Says deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers. Now, when you go to, I think it's Amos, but it says, they broken the brotherly covenant. Guys, it's heavy. Like, guys even breaking the new covenant. You have, on one hand, guys are breaking the new covenant by saying that you need a new body to fulfill it and be in it, which is a totally heresy, a total lie. Got that for one. Got that for starters. And now you have guys saying that, Yahweh Shai, and the virgin birth and all this and the third. But then when you go over to their channels, they have no fruits. They have no lessons, no comforting words, just bare. It's just a barren land. And you got guys following that. You got guys deceiving with that seducing spirit of the Roman Catholic Church. That's something of the world, man. That's something of the world, that they formulated a doctrine, which that's not a part of Yahweh Shai's doctrine. It's part of the world's doctrine. It's part of Queen of Heaven worship. It's part of a confusion of putting women over men. Yahweh Shai told you don't worship Mary. Don't worship his mother. He said, rather blessed are they that hear the Lord's word and keep his commandments and do them. That's who's blessed. So it says, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who know in the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So We have pleasure in suffering for the Lord and pleasing the Lord. But on the other hand, you got guys that have pleasure in these aspects of covenant breakers, not understanding what the judgment is, unmerciful, evil, inventors of evil things, debate, murder. This is what they're full of. You see? Now, a sinful man disquieteth friends. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna just read that real quick. That exact verse the brother brought out. And these are very heavy times. So what we need to lean on is not our own understanding. We lean on the Lord. We lean on the word. Ecclesiastes 28 and verse 9. It says, a sinful man disquieteth friends, and maketh debate among them that be at peace. As a matter of the fire is, so it burneth, and as a man's strength is, so is his wrath. And understand that, let me get this as well. The wrath of man, let me get this. And I think it's Romans, but I know it's the New Testament. Okay, James, Slakia. All right, James 1 and 20 says, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God, right? And what's the righteousness of the Lord? It's Yahushua, his son, walking in that way, following his path, following his servants. See, we don't come on here and we don't lord over the sheep. We don't lord over the sheep. All we're doing is being examples to the sheep of how Yahushua must increase and you must decrease. Everyone wants to be King David. Everyone wants to be Elijah. Everyone wants to be high priest. You even got fucking guys, they want to exalt themselves above Yahushua. They want to act like they know the exact day and time and second when Yahushua is going to come back. The Lord put it plain in the scriptures that no one knows a time or day or hour when the Lord is going to come back except for who? The Father. So you got a lot of hypocrites, reprobates, a lot of fucking turncoats, a lot of wicked things that we're up against. And this world is coming to an end. This world is crumbling right before our very eyes. And there's no greater thing than to see the downfall of your enemies. And this is what we're witnessing right now. Which what we see and what we're hearing. We're hearing and we're seeing the downfall of our enemies. All the enemies of the cross, all the enemies of Yahushua, they're all going to be annihilated, man, all together, the multitudes. You see? Let me also get this too. Ephesians 5 and 6 says, let no man deceive you with vain words, right? These are like vain words, bro, because vain words meaning that like they're empty. It's just emptiness. There's no spirit there. There's no life. There's no true love there. Guys can say love all day. They can use their mouth and say this and say that all day. But if it's not from the heart of the Lord, then it's irrelevant. It says, let no man deceive you with vain words, because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. You see? Be not ye therefore partakers with them. So when you go to Ezekiel, in Ezekiel, he was explaining how they were worshiping. They were putting a front on like they were like the true priests of the Lord, and they were worshiping the Lord. But in all actuality, what they was really doing in the temple, in their body, in their mind, and everything, they was worshiping false gods. So when you go to Ezekiel, it explains that. You also have Jeremiah. He explained that. See, all the prophets were explaining the same thing. From the beginning, the covenant. Yeah, right. So as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. And in the beginning, it wasn't Adam in the transgression. It was a woman in transgression. You see? So like we're not gonna follow anything that's of a woman or of, of the world, bro. And that's heavy, bro. So the elect are not going to be deceived, man. The elect are not going to be deceived. So when you go to the beginning, you have the covenant that Eve made with the serpent. You see, the serpent was the most subtle beast in the whole garden. So this is like the final judgment where we're putting our foot down and we're not following the woman. We're not following any false, strange gods. We're following Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You see? And the law says how if your brother, your father, anyone tries to stir you away from serving and following the Lord, the hand of the two witnesses shall first be upon him to put him to to put him to death, because they're trying to stir you away from the Lord, bro, to serve different gods other than the God that brought us out of Egypt. You see? So it's really heavy, man. It's really heavy. Now, when you go to... So this was what was happening ever since the beginning. There was this worship of, like, woman without the man. You know, woman can have a child without a man. And, like, just that's confusion. That's not how the Lord did it. The Lord made man and he made woman. The Lord made the woman for the man. No, the man can't do it alone. The man can't have a child by himself. Just like the woman. The woman can't have a child by herself. You see? So Lord, he's about order. Our God's not the God of confusion, but of peace in all the churches of the saints. Now, when you go to Ezekiel, I think it's Ezekiel 8. Let me see if I can pull it. Because what they do is they turn and they worship the Queen of Heaven and shit. You go to Ezekiel 8 and verse 16. Let me read this. It says, and he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house. And remember what they've done, you know, in Yahushua's time and even now. They've made it into a den of thieves. So they're a bunch of they steal every man. They steal our words and they act like they came up with it. They do all kind of shit, man. Plagiarize. If they try to plagiarize the real, but y'all ain't fucking original, man. Says, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east. And I just want to get the point where in Ezekiel 8, where they're worshiping false gods. Ezekiel 8. So in the scriptures it talks about, like, you know, we're not coming with like big words and shit. We're coming in the power of the Lord. A lot of guys ain't coming in the power of the Lord. They're coming in their fancy words and, you know, doctrines of devil and seducing spirits, and, you know. So let me get this. So it's so important to be what? To be defending Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, defending the truth, which we have so many. Everyone's against us, man. Everyone. You see? But we're going to overcome everything. So check this out. Ezekiel 8, and this is the point. Ezekiel 8 and 12. Then said he unto me, son of man. Right, he didn't say son of woman. Understand that. Hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imagery. For they say, the Lord seeth us not. The Lord hath forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which is toward the north. And behold, there sat woman weeping for Tammuz. See, now, it's heavy, man. So I'm going to get definition of that word Tammuz, man. And see, we're breaking all this shit with the hammer, the axe, the weapon of the Lord, which is our mouth, which is our voice, the new heart, the spirit within us. So the definition of Tammuz. You know, it's like, you know, it's so real. Like, even when you say these fucking false gods' names, you just hate saying it. I hate saying the false Messiah's name, the JES. You know, I hate saying that name. I never say it. I hate. You know, I hate. That's why the Lord said, don't let it be known the name of other false gods in your mouth. It says that in Exodus. You see? So by us being the virgins, not the foolish virgins like I did that video yesterday, but the wise virgins, we're understanding what the time and why everything's happening right now, because Lord, he's shaking this thing up. So only the elect are going to withstand. Only the elect are going to remain. Everyone else is going to fall away to the world. So Tammuz was a Phoenician, a heathen god. When you really go into it, there's all different types of false gods that have that same story of like, a woman having a child without a man and all kind of shit like that. Worshiping women. Right here it is. Right here, Tammuz, Sumerian, Dumizi, Mesopotamian region, religion, god of fertility, embodying the powers for new life in nature in the spring. You see that? You see that, right? So we're up against a lot of wickedness right now. 1 John 2:15. Love not the world. Do not love the world, man. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. You can't love what's in the world. Money's in the world. Good looks and flashy things and things that look good to the eye. That's of the world. You see, so you can't be deceived by the tree of good and evil. The tree of good and evil, it was pleasing to the eyes. It looked good, but internally it wasn't good at all. It was evil. It says, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. So the world is passing away. Let me get the next verse. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. So if you're not doing the will of the Lord, and you have to be truly sent to do it, then you're going to pass away with the lusts and the desires of the flesh and of the world. You see what I'm saying? So it's a heavy time right now. And we're up against a whole lot of corruptness. But we're going to overcome, because greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. The Lord is greater and powerful and more entirely completed and perfected in us than he is in the world. See, the term Lord or God in the world, it's like a lukewarm, you know what I'm saying? It's only like partial, like they only give you certain pieces and bits. But like the finality and the entirety of the Lord and of the power is not in the world. That's why the Lord said, greater is he that is in you than is in the world. Because that covenant that we have with the Lord, it's an eternal covenant. It's an everlasting covenant, which Lord made with his servant, David. You see? And like with David, also Yahushai, and like the true men of the Lord, like they never exalted themselves. They abased themselves. They stayed humble. Like for us, for instance, right? We never, and we still haven't taken a high seat. Even being like forerunners in the new covenant and like this truth, we still haven't taken the high seat. We've taken the low seat. So anyone that comes like and tries to exalt themselves above the spirit and the new heart and the Lord, we see you, because we've chosen the low seat. So you're not fooling anybody but your fucking self. With that, all praises, glory, honor, and faith, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Barakah, Quadash, Ababa Bal, destruction unto the wicked, and all these false gods, false strange gods. There's only one God. Yahweh is his father's name, Yahweh Shai is his son's name, and there's no other name given amongst men whereby we must be saved. And with that, Shalom and stay strong. Shalom.